Yo, welcome to episode three?
Three.
Yeah, three.
Three, season 2. Sit your podcast down. Bars is back.
Oh, Bars is bad. You wanna start there? Actually, we could start there. McFly, G, Reek all here. Are we going to Bars is back? The bars that made Hitman retire? Are we gonna
There's
start
been
there?
a retirement. There's been a historical retirement in the community of battle rap.
Historical.
Historical.
It is a historical retirement.
The only way he's coming back is if he battles another guy that's retired, according to him.
He really say that?
I think he did say that.
Oh man. Oh, I didn't catch that one. Oh my goodness. Are you serious?
Cass, there's nothing anybody can say to Cassidy now.
Nope.
I mean, nothing. Cassidy is
fucked up.
I retired a legend.
They fucked up.
Yep.
I retired Hitman Holla. The Cassidy effect.
The Cassidy effect. Hashtag.
Hashtag the Cassidy effect. I retired the young boy.
Did you catch that Hitman interview?
I saw some of it. He was doing a lot of babbling to me, a lot of excuses. It's like, dude, you came out, you really tried to win. And Cassidy beat you. And now you have to retire.
Dreamcast.
It's crazy because I watched the whole thing, right? Because Bars is back. He was trying to say that the crowd didn't want him to win.
Oh,
and that's why it might look like he lost.
I don't think I've ever seen a crowd more obviously trying to get him to win ever. Like ever. And I've been watching battle rap for a long fucking time. He was just like, yo, roses are red. Yo. Everything he said, they tried to just hype him up. I can't accept that from him.
Yeah.
No, he lost. He lost the battle. It was debatable, but he lost it to a lot of people, enough people to make him retire.
Unless you're K Shine, who randomly said Hitman won 3-0. Like, what the fuck was he smoking? Okay.
Because K Shine just got smoked 3-0 by Chilla Jones. So
man, man in his feelings.
Yeah, he's one of them like, oh man, because he's another guy like Hitman, where it's like he says stuff sometimes, but a lot of his thing is performance and super punchline based. Even though his punchlines, he's a little bit more lyrical than Hitman. But
yo man, Hitman was on that damn interview trying to tell us he's lyrical, spitting the most simplest stuff. Like he's like, y'all ain't hear my second round. That was my lyrical round. That was for the small room. And he's like, hickory dickory doctor clock glock blah blah. Nigga, what?
It's like, what are you talking? Like, Hitman, you're not a small room dude. Like, you just
at all.
Like, even before when we was doing our previews, like I was going with Hitman, but y'all, but I was never confident. Y'all ended up convincing me to go with Cass. And it was a reason because it's like, yo, Cass can literally outbar you. Like, because one thing that COVID did, it made people pay attention more to the bars, because all the battles have been small room, caffeine type battles, and people been like for over a year listening to bars. So Cassidy was going to come in. He was more direct. He went right at him. He had more bars. He lost, and now Hitman wants to retire.
He got a job. Somebody's undefeated, man.
Don't start. Don't start. I'll tell you right now, Cass can't feel like that for sure right now. Never lost. All right. Never lost. Ever.
Tired, dude.
LeVar Ball voice all day.
Retired Hitman. A legend.
Are you going to miss Hitman? That's the real question.
Not really.
I mean, we're gonna see him on dancing. What can I say? He be dancing in the back.
Yes, he be dancing on Wildin' Out.
Like, yeah, because I don't watch him on Wildin' Out. I don't watch Wildin' Out. That's Nick Cannon's on my corny list. So
he got a show, apparently.
He has a show?
See him on that on BET or something like that.
Yeah, all right.
Wow, who watching that shit?
Right, I'll believe it when I see it.
Who watching a Hitman show?
It's like, what the show gonna be about?
Like, I'm not surprised BET would pick this shit up, but I'm also just like, who watching that shit? Like, I don't.
Like, out of all the people, in the on Wild 'N Out, why would Hitman get a show?
Yeah, he's like not top on the list at all.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on my no hate bag and say maybe this is important for the battle rap community to support him, so they can maybe increase the chances of themselves venturing out of the battle rap field.
Yes and no. I agree with the sentiment of what you're saying, but there's something to be said about when somebody branches out into something unique like that, they need to be really good off rip. I don't think he's good enough. He's not good enough to make that jump. Like whenever you see guys making a jump in anything, when they were great at one thing, first of all, they were great at the one thing, and then they move to something else. I take a two-sport athlete. You can't be shitty in one sport and then say, you know what? But I really want to go try this other sport too. Like you can't be the 53rd guy on the football team and then go say, I'm gonna go play ball. They're gonna be like, yeah, you're fucking cut. Go home. You can't do it. Now you Dion and Dion want to play baseball, you'd be like, well, you fucking Dion. So all right.
I don't want to dig too much into it.
Hitman is that. Hitman is who's a scrub in the league right now trying to go play ball. Like that's who Hitman is. Maybe not a scrub, but he's not the guy you need to carry that torch in my mind. But
oh no, he is a performer. He's probably one of the better battle rap performers. So
yeah. Like when it was big
show though.
That's what I said. Like I don't know.
I guess that would depend on how we feel about it then.
Like I don't know. Like if it was like okay, Charlie Clips got a show. Like I can kind of see that, but it's just like. Or the South 85 dudes get a show. Like I can see that, but Hitman is just like, all right, are you acting on the show or
It's gonna be like ridiculousness.
He gonna look at videos?
I
don't know what he's gonna do. Like,
if it's a clip show, I'm cool with that. If it's a clip show and he has like an audience, he can kind of play to the performance part of what he does. Sure, he just. He danced around on Wild 'N Out. He danced around on his own show. All right,
Cassidy really got boys thinking he's a background dancer.
Right, background dancer.
Yo, Bars is back.
He really does. Like I don't watch Wild 'N Out, so I don't know what Hitman does. I'm forced to believe Cassidy.
So I had to believe Cass that the man be dancing in the background, singing the lyrics of songs that come out. That's what I have to assume. Well, more power to him. Your Hitman's gone. We know what Cass' next battle is going to be.
No matter. He don't pick his opponents.
Right. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a big name or somebody big enough, but I mean, I don't know who they're gonna pick. I would like Cassidy and Rex just for the face-off. They're 1 and 2 in face-off power rankings. Cass being 1.
He already killed that though, which sucks.
The face-off is worth it.
Cass said they cool though. He said people think
he did.
Gonna be crazy, but they actually cool. So. We'll see. Bill Collector. Give him Bill Collector. Bill Collector's a weirdo.
That would be a great face-off. Bill Collector and Cassidy. I wouldn't mind that either. I wouldn't mind that. So we'll see what Cass does. We know Hitman's not battling anybody. So
we went from thinking Cass has a chance to maybe Cass wins. To Cass wins, I think pretty easily, and then retires this dude.
Retired him.
Just go back a couple episodes. I was always team 30.
Fair,
Yeah,
I never chose against Cassidy, but I was thinking 2-1, which I guess is debatable.
I didn't have as much confidence as a bunch of other people did in Hitman beating Cass like that clearly. I was like, I don't know, because for one, it's like I don't know Hitman to beat anybody clearly. Except
what solidified it for me is when I listen to Hitman's music, I'm like, there's no way he's beating Cass. Like he wrote this down.
Like it's like
he wrote this down and said it on in the booth.
Yeah. That's why I didn't listen to it. I knew if I heard, I was gonna be like, nah, it's over. That's why I was like, let me just.
The only big battle I've seen Cass like smoke somebody was Arsenal. That was it. Everything else, like every other big battle, has always been like debatable to me. Like he'll have a crazy first round, then everything else is just like debatable. So
yeah, it's crazy. Even a Goods one, it's like Goods was terrible.
Yeah, Goods was bad. It wasn't like a normal Goods.
Right. He still beat Cass, but
yeah, still beat him. But it wasn't like it wasn't like a normal Goods, but like he just knew like all I gotta do was just go directly at him for 3 rounds because Cass is just going to rap random bars and go too long. just go right at him.
And he gonna say "gat" 1,000 times. I was like, "Could you stop saying gat?" no one says "gat." Say something different.
Right.
Yeah. If it was a BET cipher, Cass would have lit that joint up.
Right.
I died. Well, from one legend, unfortunately, and just disappointingly. The boy X, man. The boy X did not make it, man. And this, I don't know, man. This had me, I don't know. I kept thinking, everybody kept talking about the whole Lamar Odom shit. Man was dead at the hotel and came back, and this was going to happen for X. And then he just did it. He just didn't come back. I don't know, man. It's just, I have any feelings behind the way, man. That's my childhood, Boy, X, man.
X was one of my favorites, like ever.
For sure.
So like
I encourage everybody to go watch that Rough Rider Chronicles too, because I think he did a really good job of like showing you a lot of stuff we already knew, but it's good to see it in one spot, see it in one spot for a couple episodes. So everybody go watch that, Jane.
Yeah, that was a good doc. It's sad, like, but then the good thing is like you kind of saw the impact X had, just like on music, on people. Like it was like DMX was in my rotation anyway, before all this stuff happened. So it was like, you saw the love that X got, after he passed away, or people just trying to help him hold on. Or whatever, like his music impacted a lot of people. Just him as a person impacted a lot of people. So it's just a sad thing to lose somebody like that.
Yeah,
what's your favorite song from X or favorite album? Or go ahead, G. My bad.
No, go ahead.
I was saying in kind of remembrance of them, like what's your favorite song, album, moment of hearing it? I mean, that's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff.
My favorite album, there's always a toss-up between Dark as Hell is Hot and Flesh of My Flesh. But like the last couple of weeks, I kind of been, it might depend. I might switch next week. But I think Flesh of My Flesh is probably my favorite album from X right now. Like it's and don't get me wrong, like Dark and Hell is Hot is right there with it, but I think Flesh in My Flesh, like he went hammer time on that one. Like it was I think it's just like more aggressive album.
I'm trying to think. Let me look at the track list because I'm thinking Flesh in My Flesh just off the top, but yeah, it's Flesh in My Flesh for sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely probably that. You know what? I'll say this though.
Oh man, that's tough, man. It's not for
That's
sure.
what I said.
That's
Like, and
tough.
then you
That's tough.
look at Dark and Hell is Hot, and it's like,
Man.
no. As I say, next week, you ask me next week, I might say Dark and Hell is Hot.
Yeah, it's a toss up. You're right.
I mean,
I'm mad you went first because now you making me question what I like more.
Actually, nah, I'm gonna say Dark and Hell is Hot.
He can't go wrong with it. Yeah, you can't go wrong with
I don't think you can. I mean, but just, I mean, he got the anthem. He got the intro. He got
a lot of
how's
great
it going down. Stop being greedy.
Like, he got a lot of great songs on the ATF. Damien, like,
like.
And then there was X, wasn't too bad either.
No. Then there acted like that was.
No, I was thinking, like, honestly, low key, he had a lot more. You think of it being these 2, maybe 3 great albums. He had more than that. Like, I don't know how I feel about it. I really like Grand Champ. I think he had a lot. It wasn't like the first couple. Yeah, but it was a solid album, and it was after, because I did not like the Great Depression like that. It was all right, but I didn't look at it like, oh man, this is killing it. But like Grand Champ, he got back to a little more of that action. I was really like, I had in the playlist heavy. A lot of songs that I like. A lot of this I didn't expect to see from him. Just good tracks. I mean, obviously, y'all gonna have a Locks on there, D Block, G's favorites, G's absolute favorites.
Man, that's why it hit me, man, because it's like, dang, man, those if anything happened to any of the Rough Riders, man, like, I don't know, like, I felt like I was a part of the street team, man. When they came out, like, I mean, it was either them or what? The Dynasty, right?
Yeah, right. It was literally, you were split. It was it was 2 groups in town. It was them 2. Oh, man, yeah.
Yeah, it was DMX. That Rough Rider era was insane. It was insane.
To see him, like, kind of older with his kids and, trying to get right. And then, like, this happened, man. It just hit different, man. And I know you got kids. If you got kids, you know what I'm saying. But it seemed like he was finally getting back with him and, like, trying to be around, trying to show him stuff. He had just been in the studio with the Locks. I think he was in the studio with a couple other people, but like people been like reaching out, like people been trying to get him right, get him back.
Now I think that's what's the worst thing about it. Everyone that talks about him, I mean, he that knew him, they're saying he was turning a corner. Like, obviously he struggled with substance abuse and all that shit, but they was just he getting right. And it's just not to be. But man, I think it's one thing obviously it's a sad time, but it's been cool. Like, I mean, down here, because I mean, where I live at, I'm minutes from the hospital he was at. So all up and down the road, you would hear people riding, like playing DMX, like you ride by the hospital, like you would hear that. So I think that was cool, man. It's just the legacy that he left behind is massive. And I don't think we talk about like impacts a lot when it comes to the culture and it comes to music and hip hop. Not many people today or people that come even after this are going to ever have the kind of impact that he had. There's just an authenticity and just a larger than life energy that he brought. It's sad to see it distinguished what we feel like this early, but yeah, man, I'm gonna play X all week, man. Like,
all week. Yo, it might not even be possible to duplicate his energy, just considering like the way music is consumed now. Like that might have been like one of the last eras where, like, what Drake might be the closest to it in recent times, but like I feel like what's gonna match that? Like, can you?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I don't think you can.
Yeah, and then even just with the street energy, like I don't think it was DMX and then like 50, but I don't think anybody was gonna come in and just like shift the culture like they did, just like because it was like, okay, this is a poppy era, even though you still had your street music, but nobody was going to be like, okay, I'm doing straight street music, and I'm going to be up there with the top guys, top selling artists. And I don't think anybody right now is going to be able to even do that right now.
Yeah, I saw an interview. I don't know if it's old or not, from Offset, and he was talking about how they changed the culture. Because before they came up, hip hop wasn't necessarily number one. It was like either rock or country, whatever it was number one grossing, right, in terms of like money making. But he was talking about it, and I was just like, I think you're full of shit. In terms of, to me, I think of X and I think of Jay and I think of 50 as those were the guys who brought, like, yo, we're gonna keep it straight for the culture, but we're still gonna be these massive, larger than life people, right? And I think they took it and ran with it, even more so than the ones that came before them. Obviously, we can go back to the history of this shit. Obviously, talk about the Run DMCs, the NWAs, and all of those boys back in the day. But to me, it was this era, like that late 90s era, that was like, yo, we gonna make this shit really pop. And then the competition between him and Jay, first friendly, then turned a little less friendly, then back to friendly again, that fueled this amazing era of music that didn't really compromise, right? Jay wasn't sitting there like, and again, I like Drake, but Drake has some pandering songs. He got some things that are just meant to be a bug in your ear on the radio, which is, bro, it doesn't take away from his talent, but X wasn't just dropping things to be a bug in your ear. He was like, I'm going to give you some shit that I think is hot, that speaks to me and where I'm from, and you're going to get with it or not. And it's up to you. And more than often, people were just like, he was showing that scene of him out there with all them faces that don't look like his, just a sea of people like, yo, my man's on it. Like, that's, I don't know if you can recreate that. It's too much of sound alike. There's too much of you talk about all the time. Beats sound the same, delivery styles are the same, like cadences are the same. Like, everyone wants to sound the same. X sounded like X and no one else. He sounded like X all the time. X type shit all the time.
X had your mom and your grandma screaming, "Y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here."
Right.
Like,
yeah.
X had a recess. Like, it's different when you think about how street his stuff was. He had your grandma rapping along with it.
Right. I saw an interview he did with like GQ, and he was just talking about, like, he was talking about Party Up, and he was like, yo, like, the content is pretty aggressive, but the beat just make it feel like feel like he's not rapping the same street stuff, but the beat just make it feel like a party. You know what I mean? But X was just going to be X regardless of the track. And a lot of
that's probably one of my favorite things about him. Authenticity, man. That's just, no one has that anymore. No one has this, I'm true to this shit every day, no matter how you feel about it, whether you uncomfortable, whether you celebrate it, it don't matter. I'ma still do me. Nah, that's just that energy. I don't think it can be recreated. I just don't think it will be.
Can't. It's just, and like you were saying, it's so unique, because I'm even thinking about like any feature I've ever heard X on. Like, some people, they got throwaway verses, but it's like X is just so unique. Like, every feature he's on is kind of like, I don't know, this song trash, but X verse crazy.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like X.
Nah, that's fair.
Destroyed a lot of features. Like, destroyed people.
Heavy. It's heavy.
Yeah, it's heavy.
It's heavy. It's my child. This is the childhood, man. Well, I guess we can shift gears to something a little more upbeat. So have y'all? This is funny. Have y'all caught up on this this Twitter debate? There's a couple of Twitter debates that are actually going around. I love Twitter debates. It's funny. One in particular compares the prowess of a Jamie Foxx versus Will Smith. And The claim is who has more range? Who has more range? Everyone points to Ray and says Jamie Foxx. Well, a lot of people say that. What say you all?
See, my thing is, everybody's going to point to Ray, but they're going to act like Will Smith hasn't done biopics himself. So, he's done Ali.
That's my thought.
Pursuit of Happiness is a biopic. So, when it comes to range, I'm not taking anything away from Jamie Foxx, but I think Will has done more variety roles. Not saying Jamie hasn't, because Jamie's also a great actor, but I think Will, and I think Will has just has the ability to have more range of role. Like a lot of people don't know, like for Django, this can kind of let you know right here. The first choice was Will Smith for Django, not Jamie Foxx.
Damn, really?
Yes.
Damn, I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that.
Does Jamie being also a stand-up comedian factor into any of this, or is it irrelevant?
People were saying it did. There was because that's the argument ballooned beyond the range and got into Jamie's a stand-up comedian and a singer and whatever. I don't think it matters. I think that was just his trade. Like he was a comedian by trade. That's what Jamie did first. So he went into a sitcom to be funny. He always wanted to sing, and as he got more popular, those doors opened up for him. But
right, he's a musician first.
Was he a musician first?
Yeah, he's a classically trained musician. Like he was a musician before he got into comedy, before he got into acting. He was a musician.
Really?
He was in school to sing and play piano and all that stuff. He's an artist.
So then I would say even more so now I give Will Smith the nod because he was not trained in music that I know of. Yes, he was.
Right. That's what a lot of people don't realize. Like Jamie Foxx is a classically trained musician. But if you look at their music and sales, Will Smith has outsold Jamie Foxx.
Sure.
Yeah, but okay.
Is that range or is that popular?
He has.
Yeah. I'm not gonna disagree.
Like Will Smith got hits I would say Will Smith hits are bigger than Jamie Foxx's hits.
They are.
I think people just love that.
Fresh Prince is bigger than the Jamie Foxx show.
Oh, it's not even close.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Like fuck. If that shit was gone right now, I'd be like, okay, sad, but okay. No, I think it's pretty obvious it's Will Smith. The only thing against Will Smith is this: he doesn't have the Oscar, and Jamie does. But I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Ray die around the time that the movie came out?
I believe.
I thought he did, and I felt like that maybe.
I think he died.
Jamie did not.
I think he died before the official release, but he was alive to actually see it. Well, you know what I mean.
Oh, come on! We were so respectful.
You can see. I mean, you can see it in his way, in his own way.
To say.
He saw it in his way. You know what I mean?
He heard it. That's what you said. He heard it.
Yeah, he heard the movie. He was able to sit there and he got
it. Yo, let's move on.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of how I feel about this because I think I feel like I like Jamie Foxx. I like his content more, but I can't argue that Will Smith is bigger. Like there's when Will Smith speaks, people listen. When Jamie Foxx speaks, people are kind of like, oh, he's telling a joke. Like,
right, yeah. When you gonna say something funny? Like that's what it feels like. Like when you gonna say something funny, Jamie? Make us laugh, Jamie. Like And I don't take,
Yeah.
and I love Jamie. I think Jamie Foxx has done like some phenomenal movies, but it's
I
like
definitely
some movies, it's some movies like I think it's some movies you can't really see Will Smith doing that Jamie did, and it's movies that you can't see Jamie doing that Will Smith did.
Will Smith
Like,
just feels like lately, and in most of his movies, honestly, he feels like he's just playing himself. To me,
I get that. That's a fair.
yeah.
That's a fair assessment. I also just think there's something to him being allowed to be there because what he is just sometimes you just want that. Like to me, the version of him that's like that most often is looked at as Matthew McConaughey. You want him to be the same guy in pretty much what you pick him for. You pick him to be that kind of guy, right?
so
But when Will has to do something different, he does.
I think Will's selection of movies lately haven't been as good.
Nah, he's picked some shitty movies. Let's keep
He's
it
picked
some of the last, like what was the thing called? What was it called? Gemini Man. Oh, that was an awful movie.
I didn't
It
watch
wasn't like
that.
his fault. It wasn't worth
Terrible.
watching. It was not good.
Yeah,
I think he's not selective. Jamie picks things that are typically really well done, but he also doesn't make as many movies as Will Smith. Will Smith has like a ton of movies.
right.
Like
Jamie
usually every single one of them is just massive.
Jamie has some stinkers too, like that Spider-Man movie he was in. But
that wasn't the best. He took that range. He took that range a little too far.
Yeah,
yeah. I don't know. I just generally like his
greatest.
characters way better than I like Will Smith characters, generally speaking. TV, obviously, The Fresh Prince, like you can't beat that. So if that's gonna carry Will, then I'll let it carry him. But
I would say Pursuit of Happiness and I think character for character, James' characters beat. I mean, Will's best characters beat James' best characters. You give me Ray, and that's a good punch. But I'm sorry, you put Ray up next to Ali. First off, Ali's a better movie. No one wants to say this. It's a better movie, and the performances are at best equal. Although Jamie gave a good performance in said movie.
It's tough though, because
I still think he was better.
Will has been asked to carry a movie way more than Jamie has been asked to carry a movie. So
that's true.
Maybe that allows Jamie to dig into, like, to go into a character and be that character, because he don't give a fuck about the rest of the movie. He's just trying to be him. I mean, obviously he does, but I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But
yeah, I think like people don't.
That's actually a fair point.
Yeah, I think people get like Jamie's movies have huge co-stars next to him. Will is normally asked to carry, like Always. He is the huge star. So like you look at Django, it's like, okay, you have Jamie, you have DiCaprio. That's like A-list and mega A-list. You know what I mean? And then like Will Smith was like, all right, you get Jamie. It's like you get Martin Lawrence. Like it was like you get your son.
I mean, he carried. I'm just saying he carried Martin Lawrence and his son through major movies.
Yeah, I mean, they gave him zombies. They gave him a movie of himself.
And then I'll get a dog.
He got a dog. He got a dog and some mannequins. He made a great movie out of it. I don't know if Jamie's doing that. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. That's hilarious. He said he got a dog. He did get a dog. I guess I think it's here's what I was surprised at was Jamie is one of those guys in the culture that can seemingly do no wrong. And I feel like when he's put up against somebody, it's like, oh, Jamie can do it. Jamie can be Will Smith better than Will Smith can be Will Smith. I'm like, just relax.
But yeah, they always say like Jamie's the most talented black man I've ever seen. It's like you realize, like, if you know your history, all black artists, especially back way back, had to be able to do all the things that Jamie does to be on. Sammy Davis had to do all those things. Eddie Murphy does all the things Jamie does. So it's just like
Eddie Murphy has an album.
Right.
Eddie Murphy has a legit album.
A platinum album with a huge
hit. I like a song from it.
Party all the
But one
time.
song is
It
stupid,
was
though.
a huge hit.
Dude, Jamie, yeah. I will say this though. Randomly talking about like the most talented black man on the planet, Chris Brown may be that. Just gonna throw it out there.
Come on, man.
I hate to say it.
Come on.
How? He
Don't
sings and
What are you
dances.
talking about?
Listen,
He can
Chris
dance.
Brown's amazing. I'm just telling you, he's amazing. I've seen him in
What, so he
concert.
can
I don't think
flip?
I've ever seen somebody do what he can do. If you can flip and sing notes and don't miss a beat, I'm impressed. He's done
You
it.
can't
I'm just
sing and
saying.
dance at the same time, though.
He has.
He
I'm
can't.
telling you, I've
It's
seen this in
literally
person.
impossible to sing and dance at the same
Did it.
time.
He did it.
He
The
did not.
backflip while still singing in person in front of me, and I was just like, okay.
You must have heard
He
the.
slapped
I'm
you
just
up
telling
too?
you what happened.
You must have
Yeah.
heard the.
Yeah, I'm just
the
no. There was no song in the background.
karaoke.
Anyway, whatever. We're gonna move on.
Like he can't
We're
do
gonna
it.
move on. We're gonna move on. It happened. Just telling y'all it happened. Either way. All right. What's next in the docket?
So, what we got next?
Y'all should know. Let me see what's next. Oh,
KD?
Chris Boy. Man, he is the softest guy in the NBA outside the court. Outside the court, he's the softest guy in the NBA. What's KD getting into?
KD on this one.
Interesting. You are on the KD side. All right. Well, let's hear about it.
KD's side on this one. Apparently, him and Shannon Sharp got into it. Shannon Sharp didn't do any research and ran with a meme that somebody claimed Kevin Durant said. So somebody made a
football
meme.
Players don't do no research. You know that.
Yeah, it's like somebody made a meme like Kevin Durant said, "Oh, I beat LeBron James Tyson, and he's the GOAT, and he's the GOAT. So what does that make me?" Type crap. So, KD tweeted Shannon Sharp basically correcting him, saying like, you need to do. I never said anything like that, but y'all running with it. So they kind of go back and forth, and Shannon Sharp like, well, we'll talk about this in private, and KD's pretty much like, no, we can talk about it in public since you publicly said this stuff about me. Why you got to talk about it in private? So, it's it got a little bit, they went back and forth, and then Shannon Sharp blocked KD, and then KD said he tweeted him after he blocked him and said, I'm supposed to be the sensitive. So I see where KD is coming from. You're going to make public statements about me, wrong statements. You need to you should probably apologize to me publicly too. Like, it shouldn't be, I'll talk to you in private when you came at me in public. Like, you were just totally wrong. You were totally wrong. I never said anything like that, and you ran with it. And now you
I think there's what, do I think this because it's KD? Yes. I think there's a different way you can handle it, but it's only because it's KD. Because I would want that same energy. I'm with KD's energy, but because I know his history, he could go about it a different
way. I mean, good ass, but
Shannon Sharp is in the Hall of Fame. Okay. KD need to put some respect on his name.
I think at the end of the day, KD will be known as a better basketball player than Shannon Sharp was a football player.
He isn't in the Hall of Fame right now. KD right now is not in the Hall of Fame. So he should put some respect on his name. Different sport. I don't think KD would be no. This is hypothetical, but I don't think KD he succeeds in football the way he plays.
I don't think he does, but I mean, I just think KD's better at his job than Shannon Sharp was at his.
Shannon was dope. I just think
I think
there's
away from Shannon.
It's the thing that, like, okay, so like I don't like Stephen A. Smith, but I mean it's the media, right? Like, this is what it's here for. Stephen A. Smith talked about how other really popular athletes handled misquotes and how he respected it, and for it to be his job And for like the media and the NBA to be so tightly coupled together, it's like the success of the NBA is largely because of obviously the athletes, but because of the coverage, right? I think there's just a way to handle it. If it's bad journalism, go talk to him. Leave it up to Shannon to be the bigger man, come on TV and admit that he was wrong. I don't know. I think there's a protocol.
I think number one, you said one thing that's really interesting. It's about the coverage. You goddamn fucking right about the coverage. There was great athletes in the NBA for decades. Y'all didn't just become great at this shit. There's been great people before you. What happens is as the game is bigger, you get more eyeballs, more technology is accessible, you can see more shit. Right? 20, 30 years ago, the game was on tape delay. 40 years ago, 50 years, like I mean, like within like our parents' lifetimes, shit was on tape delay. Like maybe, you know, you need this shit. Number one, I always say that shit. You do need the media to an extent. But I mean, more importantly to me, Katie, why the fuck do you care? Think about the quote and said, you know what? I said LeBron's a bitch. I'm gonna smack his wife. That's really crazy and wild. Why do you care? Because I'm assuming you got LeBron number. So if you so scared of the king, go kiss his fucking rings. Oh, I said something about I beat him and he to go. I gotta go publicly go after a guy who, if I'm Shannon Sharp, who by the way is not a journalist, he's doing exactly what they pay him to do.
He's a color commentator.
To talk about some stupid shit. That's what he's literally the color commentator. Literally. Double entendre. He's both.
Bars.
That's what he's here for. So you responding to what he wants. You would think Katie will realize that shit's not going to stop because we're going to handle it publicly. Shannon was probably being nice with him. I guarantee you his suggestion is just like, keep this shit going. Because like that's what you want.
Shannon Sharp, like he's a clown. He says stupid stuff on TV. But Shannon, like
he's such a clown.
Yeah, but he gets enough respect from people who know what it is. Because they ain't gonna like Shannon Sharp know what hard work is, right? Like he gets enough respect from his peers to know what it takes to be on that level. Maybe not in basketball, but like
to be a great Hall of Fame player.
Yeah, so it's like I just feel like there's, despite him being in the media, which maybe whatever, we know why he's doing it because he has to get the gab, right? But like I just think when you're on that level, it's not like if it was like I guess Stephen A, right? Stephen A ain't never reached them levels. Why you talking crazy, bro? What's up with you?
Man, that man played at Winston-Salem State and he was a nasty two guard, all right? Super good at basketball. Have you seen him make shots in the suit jacket? Man, nice.
I just like the fact that KD makes the time, baby. Like it's like, hey, look, y'all want to talk? Like, hey, I'm watching y'all. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm up in the morning. I'm watching y'all, and I am not. I'm addressing you. You sit there, you talk crazy about where you say something I didn't say. I'm gonna let you know about it.
I'm gonna start trying to troll him. Maybe he'll respond to me. Cause I just think that's the media's dream.
No, he
shut up. Reek
is 90% getting people to respond.
I do shoot a high percentage. I haven't gone at KD because I like KD.
Reek when it comes to getting people with check marks to respond. Reek is he's 90%.
And I don't know, and I basically just talk to them like they regular people. So it's just like it's almost like they can feel the energy. Like, yo, this dude thinks I'm normal. I do. So it's like
so normal ass. I mean, I'm with it. I definitely think. I mean, Katie's just weird, man. I'm at the point he's just weird. I'm happy he has the time because it's entertaining. If nothing else, it's damn entertaining. But I'm just like, you would think you don't have the time, but it isn't worth doing to you.
That's what makes it funny to me.
I mean, every time it is. Every time it is. I don't know.
That's what makes it funny. Like
he just seems too emotional for his era. Like I feel like he's close to our era. Like we weren't really that emotional. Like if he was like 21, 22, I'd have been like, all right, this makes sense.
Emotional like this era.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but he got more. But here's where the mix comes in, because from our era, he's not afraid to say something. but he gets emotional, like
at the response.
This era, yeah, it's like he gives full explanations. Like this era be like they just put a baseball cap on a joint and like call it a day. KD is just like, no, I got time today. Let's do this.
I got time today.
It's like let's do this. Practice ain't till 1 in the afternoon. I got time. I ain't doing nothing.
So then, do you guys worry? Something to keep his ass busy. Do you guys think there's a chance he gets? You guys think there's a chance that they're not ready to win this year? Do you think maybe he ain't ready to win? Not even just on the mental shit, just on the physical shit. Speaking of KD, I feel like they should win. Like, there's no reason any team in the NBA beats the Nets. I just feel like they're gonna find a way to lose. I just don't know. I just feel it.
I think the only way they lose is like it got to be like. I don't think it's because anybody's necessarily better. It just got to be like an internal blow up somehow. Like it will have more to do with them than losing to a better team. Like I don't think
a better team is created.
Right. Like I don't think it's any team in the league. Like when you look at Brooklyn at full strength, that's just better than them. So like if you beat them,
the Lakers beat them. If we beat the Lakers, the Knicks did. So
yeah, I didn't think much like because that game, like the Lakers were shooting like the bubble. They can't really shoot. You know what I mean? Like they
can't shoot and they lost shooters.
They can't shoot. Like they're like 24th in shooting or something like that. Like they're terrible shooters. God. They came out like it was game 7. Because like all them bums, when the playoffs start, they're not playing. So it's like, this is my chance.
Let me get some playoff minutes.
Right. THC ain't playing. Macklemore ain't playing. Like, this is my time.
Macklemore.
Like, this is my time. These dudes are not playing. You know what I mean? So it's like I gotta show myself. This is my time. Like it's just like their audition. Yo, when it comes time in the playoffs, play me. You're not getting any minutes. Okay, you're not getting any minutes. I can already tell that. Their rotation's gonna be real short. Macklemore ain't gonna be in it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're right. I think they're gonna have to implode. I mean, I heard somebody say it, and I kind of agree with them. It's like Kyrie and KD, like as weird as they are and as emotional as they are, it doesn't seem like it ever affects their play. So I would have to.
It doesn't really. Yeah.
So I would have to say that
Kyrie be ready to fight in the post game and be good. That's right.
Yeah.
It'll have to be like Harden or something to me, or it's going to be
Harden in the strip clubs in New York. That's what it's going to have to be. It's going to have to be Harden in the strip club.
Right. Harden's the one that you got to worry about not showing up. Like KD and Kyrie, they're the guy that's like you worry about them. Like if you get married, they're the groomsman that does everything late. But they're going to show up.
But they be there, yeah.
And Harden is the guy that does everything on time.
Super drunk the day before.
Yeah, that's Harden. Harden's the one that's going to be like, he'll do everything on time, but then get drunk and miss the wedding. He
missed the wedding, duh.
Like he's that guy. Or show up late to the wedding. He's that guy. He's that guy. Like Harden, like you gotta worry about.
But I think I also wonder this though. Like Harden used to have to be the guy. I think he could be half of what he is and they still win. I don't think they need him to be the Harden he was even last year.
No, they don't.
They don't.
Harden just got to do more than what he did when he was in OKC. Because OKC, he wasn't even half of what he was in the finals. If he was, they probably would have won. So it's just like he just got to be a better version of what he was in OKC when it comes to the playoffs, and they can win. That's all it takes for him. Like I think that's all it takes. Just go out there. You can facilitate. Make your plays. Just show up a little bit. We don't need you to average 30. Just be there. Show up.
That should be enough.
Yeah, don't give me 8 points like you did when you was in OKC.
Yeah, to me, it's their second. Whatever their second team, like if their second team can be productive, which it seems like they can, honestly. It seems like they can put together a set where they're not as bad.
The one person that I think they need to worry about not producing in the playoffs is Joe Harris. Joe Harris is the typical shooter that during the regular season he's all good. But once you start putting pressure on him, like
Duncan Robinson.
Right. It's like, he might be even worse than Duncan Robinson. Like he's that guy. Like when they start getting on him, it's like, okay, we're not leaving. Remember, Mike, remember Steve Novak. Playoff Steve Novak couldn't do nothing because nobody would leave him.
Good old Novi?
Right. Novak, he's like, you hear it on the TV, people yelling, shooter. Like, that's going to be Joe Harris. And he's not going to be that productive.
It's crazy, man. And when you have a guy whose primary skill set, that's why you got to give guys like Allen, like Clay, like Curry, the guys that do it, you got to give them credit, man. Because so many times when that's a guy's main skill in the playoffs, they disappear. I mean,
but I think
Danny Green literally still living off of one playoff run because he disappears most of the playoffs except for that one run he had as a Spur. Yo, he lived off that one run. He was killing it, and then after that, it was nothing. It was like, bruh.
He's the guy. Like he hits time. He's like the Derek Fisher. Like Danny Green hits timely threes. Like let's just say like you're down 6, and you cut it to 2. Like you're making a nice run in the fourth quarter. And who's the guy that's going to hit a 3 to put them back up 5? Danny Green. Like he's that guy.
I don't know. Occasionally he's that guy. Not consistently is he that guy. And it's going to be after he goes 1 for 6 earlier in the game.
Right. But
so you would have been up by more in the first place if you would have hit it earlier. But
you're looking like
he's a good defender, and like they've been trying to convince me he's a good defender for the last 3 years. And like, not only is he like Reed said, he hits that one shot, that 1 of 6, but it's that shot. So not only is he 1 of 6, his man just dropped 35 on him, and people are calling him a good defender.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man gave him buckets.
He gets those tiny
buckets.
Dude, and then the Winter Lakers trying to run him at point because Rondo was out and he would just turn over every other possession.
Yeah, that's what he does. Like Danny Green, like I'm telling you, he's Johnny on the spot. He is Johnny on the spot. Like people, you look at the Lakers championship, nobody can really tell you what Derek Fisher did well. Because you can't say like, oh, he's a great defender. Like Ray Allen breaking records on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember that. I remember that deal. Yo, Kobe was like, 5 shots, about 50, get to work. He was hot. He walked in and smacked the shit out of Fisher. What were you doing all game? Where were you at, bro?
The thing is like, because like Kobe is like, they put Kobe on Rondo because, Derek Fisher's small. They could probably chase Ray Allen around a little bit better. And Ray Allen's like literally breaking finals records on Derek Fisher. It's like,
just cooking him. But you forget because Rondo was cooking in that first because you just blowing past that dude. I was like, you're just a liability everywhere, my guy.
Right, but it's like he hits timely shots. And he'll play defense with effort, even though he doesn't really stop anybody. But
I think the Nets are good enough that Harris doesn't fall off that much. I think you got to worry about too many people.
Yeah, I can see that too. But I also see Harris like not making shots. I can see Harris as being Joe Harris. Joe Harris, the guy from Virginia. That's what I see.
Come on,
the guy from Virginia.
Nevertheless, somebody's going to get a big contract because of that team. Somebody's going to get a contract they don't deserve.
Joe Harris already got a contract.
Ooh, facts. They paid him way too much money. To do one thing well, way too much money. Who's gonna get paid off of this? Maybe Blake. Maybe Blakey coming back with a nice little contract. I can see that. He shows the world he can still dunk. He'll maybe get another nice contract.
Right. Yeah,
he'll be there.
I knew he was gonna get some. I knew he was gonna get some dunks with the Nets, mainly because he had people good enough to actually set him up. In Detroit, nobody was able to set him up for a dunk. He's too old to just be like, I'm just gonna go just dunk on you. I don't need any help. Now it's like I need somebody to find me cutting to the basket so I can get a good running start. Like,
what you trying to say that Reggie Jackson and D Rose wasn't enough to get them in, get them going? Not enough playmakers. Who else is on that team?
Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson just ain't that good.
No, he's not.
Right. The Clippers, like it's like Reggie Jackson been on the Clippers 2 years, and all he was saying, like, yo, we need a point guard. Kawhi Leonard's like, yo, get us a point guard.
Yeah, wait, no, wasn't he the one that Kawhi gave up the shot and he shot some awful shit? He's like, I don't give you the ball to do that shit.
Right, I'm gonna keep it myself.
Why don't ever look mad? He was just like, what are you doing? Stupid.
I should have kept it myself. He was gonna do that.
Oh my goodness, that was too funny. Yeah, no, that's funny. No, I mean, it feels like the Nets. It feels like they should win. With the talent they have, there's really not a reason they shouldn't. And it's not just that. Jamal Murray went down. Don't know how serious that's going to be.
Towards ACL.
And then, I mean, it's ACL? Oh, shit. Yeah, he's done. So he's done. Now, I mean, I don't think anybody else out west is good enough. And I mean, the Lakers, who should be the guys to beat them, just haven't looked good. Just they don't look good. Not like consistently.
I think the Clippers are I think the Clippers are coming out. I think, matter of fact,
Portland, it's the year, baby.
Who?
Portland.
I think the
Portland,
Clippers.
What?
And quiet as kept, this might be a hot take. I think the Clippers are the only team that can really match up with Brooklyn.
Don't sleep on Dame time.
Dame time only happens in the first round.
I'm about to say, you got to see in the second round, according to Reed. Dame time has the expiration date of the first round.
It does. It does. First round.
It might match up in the first round.
Yeah, like if you get Dame in the first round, you know, you might be out of here. But if you get him in the second round, you know, you might. That's like having a bye.
So why you think the Clippers?
I think the Clippers because even though the Lakers have the size to bother the Nets, I don't think they have the scoring firepower. Like with all because you know Laker fans looking at Saturday night, it's like, okay, KD's on minutes restriction. Kyrie went out literally to start of the third quarter. Harden didn't play. So it's just like you didn't really face any real firepower. And then I know Lakers had like Kuzma and LeBron and AD out. But LeBron and AD are going to be dominating the ball for the most part. It's not going to be all those guys just firing shots. So you got the bigs that can give them problems, but if they go small and spread them out, like it's who's Drummond really going to guard? You know what I mean? Or who's like, you know, AD's going to have to come out and guard somebody. So the firepower Nets, I think they have more than the Lakers can handle, but I think the Clippers, when you look at it, just guard-wise as far as matchups, you have guys that can stick with their big three. Not saying they can all guard them, but you got Kawhi that can match up with a KD. You have Paul George that can match up with Harden or Kyrie. You have Rondo that can match up. You also have the size that the Lakers have because you have Big Zoo, you have Ibaka, and you have Cousins. Then you also have role players. You have Reggie Jackson. You have Morris. You have Batum. So they have a really deep roster that's kind of even though people don't realize it, kind of mirrors Brooklyn, even because they don't have a big three like that, but they're just as deep. And they have similar matchups. So I think that the Clippers are a little bit more equipped to deal with Brooklyn than the Lakers are. Because the Lakers, they get kind of thin. You have Drummond, you have AD, you have LeBron. Then it's like KCP.
Nah, you got Schroeder and Gasol.
Gasol's a glacier.
You got Trez.
Trez has not been Trez.
You got that. What's that dude name? The ball. He balled. What's his name?
Caruso.
Got Caruso.
See what I'm saying?
Kuzma's pretty good.
Like, this ain't the bubble. You know what I mean? Like, people forget, like, this. The Laker team last year was better, and Miami took them 6.
People do forget that Miami took them 6. Yo, people
like, yo,
do forget that.
I don't understand, like, where people get, like, this total dominance. Like, Miami took them 6 with 2 of their best players hurt.
They did have A-tier Jimmy buckets on the squad.
Yeah, I ain't taking that away from Jimmy. I'm just saying, like, they had just Jimmy, and
he had that ready.
Oh man!
Like I said, they had just Jimmy. Bam was hurt. Dragic was hurt, and they took him 6.
Bam was hurt. Dragic was hurt, and they did go 6.
It's like, come on, they sitting there looking like, oh, they beat everybody in the West in 5. Like they like that's that bubble shooting. Like they not shooting like that again.
Nah, I don't think so.
You don't go from like, yeah, they had 4 months off, and it was one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the league, just like they are this year. And all of a sudden, they turn to the Golden State Warriors. That's not happening. Rondo was hitting threes. KCP was hitting threes with a low jack on. Danny Green was hitting threes. Kuzma, Caruso. It's like, what is going on?
Kuz can shoot. He got a nice jumper. I can't even say he's what that.
Kuzma's a scorer, not a shooter.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I mean, they are worse. We've been saying it the whole year. They are worse. And I don't think they match up well against the Clippers.
Right. And we do not know how healthy AD is going to be.
I think that's always been the thing I thought about. How healthy are y'all going to be? Because that's the thing about AD is a top 5 talent in the NBA, no doubt. He also was hurt every year. Every year he's hurt.
Like,
so you got to worry about that.
I've been in debates where people have called me an idiot, especially after last year when they won the championship, where they were asking, it was a question that was asked, like, who would you rather have? Who would you rather start the franchise, Giannis or AD? And everybody called me crazy. I said Giannis.
I say even hardest.
Because
who do you talk to on social? Because like I don't understand why that's a debate.
Yeah, this was in a Facebook.
Ain't no debate at all.
Right, but people sitting there like, AD's a better player. He shoots better. Also, that's like, first off, Giannis is a 2-time MVP. Giannis gets his team to the playoffs every year. AD, when he was like I said, you got to look at them when they both been franchise players. AD is a franchise player, been to the playoffs twice. And one time he backed into it because I think Westbrook or somebody got hurt and OKC lost, and they kind of backed their way into it. So he's really only made it like once. And then I said, secondly, AD's always hurt. Always hurt. I'm like, Giannis is dependable. Like, he's there. So it's just like, why is it so hard for y'all to be like, just because he shoots better, mean that AD's Mr. Glass member, first team.
First team, Mr. Glass.
All first team, Mr. Glass. So it's just like, give me a break.
Nah, speaking of that, there's an interesting one that was out. It was AD, the Joker, Embiid. Start, bench, cut.
Start Embiid.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Start Embiid.
Bench AD. Cutting Joker.
Ain't that obvious to me? Isn't that obvious? It's not the easiest one that there ever was. I'm going to start Embiid because he's the best center in the league. It's not even close. and then I'll keep AD in the bench. Okay, fine. And I'm cutting the guy that plays no defense, but he's 7'2". I'm not. You're done. I don't get this, and you hear it now. Just talk about it. They'll be like, yeah, because the Joker he plays. He patrols the paint. I'm like, that man patrols no paint. What are you talking about? I'm gonna take those two over him. I'm sorry. The best center in the league, and then maybe the second best. Well, he's not really a center, more like a power forward. But I'm thinking those guys 1 and 2, and then Joker can get cut. I was making sure I wasn't crazy for that. I was hoping I wasn't going to say that. You know, I'm going to start Joker or keep him and cut AD. What?
No, I'm not going with that. Like, people like Joker because, I mean, Joker gets stats and his efficiency and all that stuff. But like you say, he doesn't play defense. Those other dudes might get hurt all the time, so you might want to say that. But if everybody's healthy, Joker is the third. He's clearly the third best player out of that group.
Clearly. All right. Make sure on the same page.
I don't mind Joker. I mean, he can play ball, but stop trying to like prop him up like he's Great White Hope or something.
But that's exactly what it is. Him and Doncic are Jordan and Kareem times 2, and whenever and just you have to accept it because but that's how they're talked about. Like, I mean, I'm gonna take it to 2K. Why the hell is Doncic a better player than KD originally when they start off? Are you high? How? He better than Dame? How? Like, these don't make sense. But again, the Great White Hope thing is real, man. Like, and I get it. They're great players, but stop with this. Just MVPs and you see the debate. Is Doncic better than LeBron? I'm not the biggest LeBron guy. That's fair, but that's stupid. That's some stupid shit to say.
They were literally penciling in Luka for the MVP.
Yes.
Before the season started, and they took him off within a month.
I was like, dude,
he showed up worse than Harden.
Bruh. I don't know what that man got into, but it wasn't good.
So Reek, you're closer to the scene when it comes to the youth basketball. Obviously, everybody been saying that European basketball is 10 times better than American basketball, and all our stars are in a couple of years going to be European. How you feel about that?
Some truth to that, because the European style, for one, you're in Europe, everybody plays up. So here it's just like you get a lot of people trying to cut corners and just make the league, and they're not developing players like they used to here. So we're at where we were coming up, and people before us coming up, everybody was learning fundamental. Everybody was getting coached. And people were going to college, and that's also a place where you mature socially and also mature on the basketball court, because you learn certain things you didn't learn in high school. You learn how to study film. You learn how to keep assignments and run an offense and all those type of things, because you got to pay attention to all that stuff to be better. And the international players are coming in with all of that type of schooling. They're getting more athletic. They're more prepared to play than our guys are. So if you're drafting, it's like, okay, I want somebody that's coming in right now. Like, look at Jaylen Brown. Like, Jaylen Brown kind of just developed into what people thought he was going to be last year. But he's been in the league like how many years? He was there before Tatum. And me, like, everybody called me a hater because I said he's not a franchise player, which he ain't. But they just looking at his ability. And that's the other thing that messes us up also. Everybody's looking at people's talent and ability and not looking at whether they can play or not. So when you look at, oh, this kid might be the first, like you look at him in high school, it's like, oh, this kid might be the first pick in the draft. Look how high he jumps and all this other stuff. It's like, okay, but does he know how to play? He doesn't know how to play. Or they look at somebody like a kid like Amani Bates. Like, I don't like hating on kids or whatever, but I'm pretty much hating on the media circus that they put around him. They stamping him the next LeBron. And it's like, you're not even close to LeBron in anything. He's like, oh, he's going to be next KD. He's not going to be the next KD in anything. Like, he's a volume shooter, in high school. But instead of people saying that and people saying, okay, you need to develop this, you need to work on your handle more, you need to work on your passing ability, work on your defense, work on your shot selection, they keep hyping them and gassing them up. And these kids end up not being better because anytime you try to teach them something or make them get better, you get called a hater. Because for them, like you look on social media, you have millions of followers in high school that are on your nuts. So what does this old hater got to say to me? LaMelo worked out because not only did because LaMelo probably had a bigger following than all, but LaMelo also played overseas. LaMelo played up. He didn't play down. He didn't play trying to keep a name or ranking or anything like that.
And
he
also,
played up. Go ahead.
Big ups to his father. His father trained his ass up.
Right.
His father said, "This is what you got to do." He wasn't cutting corners for the kid. Like I just every time I get a chance to myself, give LeVar Ball flowers. He an asshole. He brash as shit. He rude as fuck. The man know how to coach his sons up because he did it. You can't hate on that man for that. He got them boys ready, and LaMelo is going to be, if not already, a star in this league. That's training, and if your dad coached you most of your life,
but
hats off to him because he did the right things. Like shit.
But that keeps you grounded. You know what I mean? Having somebody that's there, like, because LaMelo, if his dad wasn't the way he was, he can easily listen to all the millions of followers he got and not think he need to work on anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because if Melo didn't go overseas and learn how to play, he would not be as good as he is.
He'd be Julian Newman.
Right. He'd be a walking and one mixtape tour circus clown. So, but that's the big difference. And also, I just wish more parents, like, they trying to cut every corner to get their kid to the NBA. It ain't about developing them to be the best they can. It's about making it to the league so they can make their money. Like you'll hear parents say, "Oh, well, I'm reclassing, I'm holding them back, and I'm doing all these things that I want them to get a scholarship." But they'll have like 6 offers on the table. It's like, why don't you just admit that you're waiting for Coach K to call, which he's not, but just sit there and wait and just say you're waiting for that so you can have a better chance to get the NBA. Because if it was really about a scholarship, you have 6 of them. Why didn't you take them one? If it's really about education, you know what I mean? Or they're not honest with kids and just saying, "All right, you're not good enough for this level. You need to work harder."
That's a tough conversation.
Yeah, I know we run
That's
along,
tough,
but
though. How do you tell a kid that?
Yeah, I was gonna say is
be real. Like, I have no problem telling a kid no.
I was about to say I don't mind telling a kid they trash.
Yeah, like we had, like, I think a lot of kids like us because we keep it real with them. We work with them like, okay, you need to work on your handle, dog.
We not only do we don't tell them, we show them, like, okay, keep doing it. Watch what I'm gonna do, and we put them in scenarios where they ain't got no choice but to change because they ain't working no more.
Right, and they looking at us like, y'all can't do it against us. All right, so imagine when you're on the court and it's 6'5", 6'6", 6'9", 6'10", 6'3". So it's like, if you can't do it on us, how you gonna do it on them? And we kind of prepare them for it. We don't look at them for how good they are in the moment or where they at right now. We kind of try to structure and develop them for what they're going to face. So if you want to be on that level, this is what's going to be there waiting for you. So you need to be prepared for that. So, and a lot of kids ain't ready to hear that. And a lot of parents don't put them in position or even tell them, like, this is what it's going to be. A lot of coaches don't tell them that. Like, it's funny. I was in a group chat with some other coaches that I coach with. And one of them was my former player. And he's coaching now at Georgia State, assistant coach. And he's a young assistant coach. But I showed him a post that I saw on Facebook. It was a local post. And the post was saying he wanted to do a showcase for all the D1 players in the area. And somebody asked him, like, there's D1 players in the area? He said, yeah, I think it's like 11 D1 players in the area. So when I showed the post, this is a D1 coach that is recruiting. He's currently recruiting right now. And he was like, there is no way there's 11 D1 players in Buffalo.
That's why I'm laughing.
Right. It's like, it's no way. But, and then like one of the other coaches was like, you see the crazy thing? Like this guy's an AAU coach and he's telling kids like, you're a D1 player. And it's like, you have a D1 coach that's telling you you're not a D1 player. He's like, there's no way there's 11 kids here. I'm recruiting. There's no way it's 11 kids. I'm from Buffalo. There's no ways. I look Buffalo first. There's no way it's 11 kids here. But let them tell it. They think it is.
Yeah. I mean, we've had kids that come to work with us, and I don't even, you know, we don't even have like the facilities to give them like really good training, and they can't make it through our workouts. Like imagine if they actually get to a real facility, you know, a real situation where they actually have to like perform. I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't know how people look at it, but like if you can't, if we're just kind of, you know what I mean, putting stuff together with what we got, and you can't even make it through this, it's tough.
Hey, you have no shot. Zero shot. We had a kid. Remember we had a kid tell us that it was easy to make the NBA.
Yep. He's not playing basketball anymore.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say the kid name, but
he's not playing basketball anymore.
He wasn't even in high school. He's like, it's easy making. He's like, all right, so how you make an NBA? All right, well, I stick out in high school, stick out in AAU, and then I get a scholarship and I go to the league. I was like, you know how hard that is to do? You can't even stick out here.
I said, you can't stick out of this camp.
You're right. You ain't even the best player in the camp. It's like, what you talking about?
What does I don't want to keep it going, but like so with that said though, like does basketball lose its draw in like 10 years? Because European basketball, I don't know.
I don't think it loses its draw, but I think it's going to have to be a culture shift to catch back up. Because if you look at the next wave of NBA stars, because you get like people argue with me with this too, because like they start naming stars that's like in the it's like these dudes about to be out the league. You sitting there talking about well LeBron and Kevin Durant and Steph Curry, like they're all over 30 years old. They ain't gonna be the next wave. You talking about under 25? You look at that list, a lot of them are foreign. The number one player on that list was Luka Doncic. Then you look at the next wave of great players that's like they're centering franchise around Jokic, Embiid, Ben Simmons, Giannis, like all these Jamal Murray, all these dudes are international players.
Right.
From Canada. RJ Barrett,
Tuskegee Airman haircut. Like he
You didn't want to say that. It hurt so much. The Canadian, the Maple Mamba.
Yeah, like those things. Like I ain't gonna say like we ain't got great American, like, you know, we got Zion, we got LaMelo, we got great guys carrying league, but they're going to start basing franchises and the title contenders coming up, like, you know, like when Lakers get old, which they already are old, it's like you're going to look at like Denver, and they're led by 2 international players. Sixers led by 2 international players. Like it's that's the wave that is going in. Dallas, 2 international players.
When you start talking about it, damn, there's a lot of it. And now the more I think about it, because you're right, you think KD, Ron, but they're 33 and 37 plus or whatever it is. Them boys about to be gone. Curry like 32 this year.
Right, they all gonna be here. So you're looking at that next wave that's going to be like, oh, these are champions, and they're going to have this era. A lot of them is going to be like based on internet. Giannis, right. You know, yeah, like DeAndre Ayton.
Donovan Mitchell.
Right. But look on his team, Gobert.
Who also has a French player on his team. So
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. It's actually, you look around, it's hard to find any team that's led by American born players under the age of like 28 that's gonna be real contenders. There's not many of them.
Right. And that's the thing, like the American teams that you looking like under 30. Or especially under 25, that teams are going to be contenders. Most of them are American players.
So we maybe you're right. Maybe we do have a bit of a culture shift at hand, because Yeah, all them young boys is foreign born, which is fine. I mean, good for the game and growth.
Right. Like
But
we got great, like, and that's the thing, like, we're not developing winning players anymore. So you look at like an Anthony Edwards, like LaMelo's a winning player. Like he changed Charlotte already. But you look at like Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards ain't no winning player. He ain't winning any level. He didn't win in high school. He didn't win in AAU, and he didn't win in college. He was under 500 in all of those. And I'm supposed to expect him to come to NBA and turn my franchise around? No, that ain't gonna happen. You know what I mean? Zion's a winning player, but you got to get him. Ain't nobody going to New Orleans. Come to the Knicks.
Yeah, no one wants to go there.
Come to the Knicks, and he'll be fine.
If he was in New York, he'd have been better off. But yeah,
right.
been in New Orleans.
You'll get plenty of people come there and we come to the Knicks. You know what I mean?
Like no one's going to New Orleans.
And that's the NBA. The NBA is going to have to start pulling some strings. You get a star in New York, we'll change the whole surface of the NBA. You get Zion in New York and get us pieces, we get a championship.
Y'all ready to wrap this up?
Good, man.
But you know it's true. As much as it sucks to say, you understand it's true. If the American-born players have a chance, just give us Zion and take RJ. All right, done deal. We easy.
That's it, man. Like
you got Ingram, he a star,
what else
and Lonzo.
What else we got?
Lonzo gonna be gone because Zion's the point guard now. he's putting up ridiculous numbers.
That didn't get me started, man.
Zion been the point. He's been putting up insane numbers since he's been playing point.
We can call that point guarding, but sure, yeah.
Point forward. I'll just say this: when Zion gets a rebound, he doesn't have to pass it to anybody.
Yeah, that's true.
And he doesn't.
That breakdown of his pick and roll action was so funny because it's like all of the options that you have on the pick and roll, Zion just jumps over everybody.
Zion is a Mack truck in the lane of Lamborghinis.
It's like look at how Zion look at how he sets this off ball. Nope. Zion's he's just using you so they think he's gonna go because he's gonna go left.
Yep.
So they think he's gonna go right because you set the pick on that side.
Right. Like, no, I'm going left anyway. And if you want to stay in my way, you can, but you're gonna go for a ride. So
I mean, he's the